In the Heat of the Night is a film from 1967, starring Sidney Poitier and Rod Steiger. Poitier was well known for being a refined actor with some grace and a subtle way of speaking. His manner made him stand out as a quiet man on film, able to deliver moments of anger with intelligence and charisma. He acted in other well-known films, such as To Sir with Love, and later on Sneakers. He also spent time directing, with great success with Stir Crazy, starring Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor. Rod Steiger was a renowned actor, having made many films, some of his most famous successes being On the Waterfront, starring alongside Marlon Brando, Dr. Zhivago starring alongside Omar Sharif, and The Harder They Fall alongside Humphrey Bogart. He was a tense, strong actor who brought great energy to his roles, and as the police chief here, he is probably at his best portraying someone who skirts the line between racism and dedication to being a police officer and enforcing the law. The film begins with Warren Oates playing the part of a beat cop called Sam. He is driving around town, stopping from time to time, including spying on a local woman as she walks around indoors naked. During his beat, he stumbles across a man lying in the street. The man has been murdered, and Sam calls it in. Steiger handles the scene and arranges photographs of the deceased, while noting the murdered man is a local bigwig investor who has promised to build a factory creating a lot of jobs. They check his wallet and see it is empty, determining someone has stolen money, and the culprit will likely be close. Sam ends up at the bus station and comes across Poitier, who is wearing a smart suit and holding a suitcase. Sam arrests him on suspicion of the murder. Steiger and Poitier meet for the first time, with Poitier saying his name is Virgil Tibbs. Steiger makes fun of this.
Virgil.
They ask where he got the money he has, and Steiger says,
"Colored can't earn that kind of money, boy. Hell, that's more than I make in a month. Now, where did you earn it?"
The quote shows us the attitude and nature of the people in the town, and attitudes to black people in general. Tibbs then finally states he is a police officer, which embarrasses Steiger. Photographs of the deceased man turn up and Steiger asks Tibbs to look at them. Tibbs is reluctant, but his boss, who confirms his identity, insists he has to help them, which matters as he is described as their #1 homicide detective. Tibbs does eventually examine the body and requests a lot of medical equipment to carry out his investigation. The looks on the faces of the men as he asks this is priceless, looking shocked and confused. The wife of the dead man goes into the station asking about her husband, and Tibbs has to inform her of his death. He handles this initially quite bluntly, but in the following moments becomes supportive. It is interesting in several ways, not the least of which is his handling of a white woman, which would be considered taboo in some parts in such times, even on screen. Even when the police apprehend another man, Tibbs looks into it, proving he did not commit the crime. At all times, Tibbs outdoes the police and shows his detective superiority. But this also reflects on him as Steiger accuses him.
"So damn smart. You're smarter than any white man. You're just going to stay here and show us all."
Which is unhelpful and pointless for both of them. Even Steiger, who has sat on the fence over his issue of race, ends up using a serious racial slur when dealing with Tibbs, which jars with his character and behaviour until that point. We get the feeling that throughout, Tibbs is the better man, as if he is above such things. A backwards and forwards goes on between the two men, but Steiger is forced in the end to request Tibbs' help, no matter what happens, to which he agrees. Steiger convinces him with his claim that the dead man was going to open a factory, employing 1,000 men, half of whom would be black people. The two are led in the direction of a powerful and rich cotton plantation owner, a man stuck in the past. Though the workers in the fields are all black, they are now employees, not slaves as they would have been. The plantation owner, Endicott, brings Tibbs and Steiger in to talk, until it becomes clear he is being questioned as a potential suspect. This brings us to the most famous moment in the film, in which Endicott slaps Tibbs, and Tibbs immediately slaps him back. Endicott then states,
"There was a time when I could have had you shot."
After this, we see Tibbs zealously saying,
"I can pull that fat cat down. I can bring him right off this hill."
Which provokes Steiger to see Tibbs is no different than anybody else, seeing the difference and wanting a kind of revenge, even if it is unjust. At this point, the tension ramps up as groups of men seek out Tibbs to attack him, and the only one ensuring his safety is Steiger. Everyone just wants a patsy, guilty or not, so that it can all go away, and the black detective can finally be made to leave. Tibbs refuses to back down, and with Steiger's help carries on even in the face of hostile actors bent on stopping them both. This and the need for genuine justice brings the two men together, out of a sense of truth and law, and through mutual respect which has been earned. Tension and unease exist throughout the film, and it refuses to pull its punches, while focusing on the strengths and failings of both men. The film uses racial slurs as a form of honesty throughout, with both men bouncing off each other, forcing them to confront their integrity and the times they live in. The film even to this day remains powerful as a study of human nature, and has undoubtedly aged well. All who acted in the film stood out for their performances, and it is a film I gladly recommend for anyone who wishes to view an unvarnished study of racism and human nature when all pretenses are stripped away. So I am happy to recommend you watch In the Heat of the Night.